Whoa, 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 whoa. That was supposed to fade out. Hey, everybody. Hey. Okay. Oh, God. What a. Oh, well, hello to you too, weirdo. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the matter? Don't you get any views? Whatever. I'm a Lolo simp, that's for sure. So you are too, actually, by the way. You just don't want to accept it. So there's that. Oh, look, your friends are here. Me. Okay, let's see. Where's the noise? Where's the noise? Where's the noise from the show? Where's the noise?
Gridiron and grit.
Oh no, that's not noise. Wait, what?
In 2016, Republicans narrowly.
Oh God, no! I don't want to listen to that. Hey, this wasn't what I had in mind. Whoops, we won! Ha! Suckers, motherfuckers! That's right, we win! Yay! We win! Yay! We win! Oh, this was bad, and this was bad, and this was bad. And you know what? People were righteously angry. And that's why we won, because you guys are fucking idiots. Woo, 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 woo. Boo, 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 boo. And then they started taking away everybody's rights. But some people were just too dumb to notice. Do, 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 do. Hey, me. Oh, good. It's Brett Bear. Fabulous. I can't wait. Do, 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 do. I know, right? Why are they even bothering? Do, 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 do. I went to a great bar in Milwaukee once. I think that's a very fun town. It's a very fun town. Yeah. Hold on. Why is this like not... Why is this not mute? What's going on here? Hold on, everybody. Hold on. I thought, oh, did I turn it on? Real sorry about that. Oh, Christy looks like he's gonna vomit. Your bachelors for this evening, and one chick, the field. Let me know if it's like too loud or too soft, or I'm too loud, or I'm too soft. Hi, Lee. All right, let's make sure I say hi to everyone. Hi, Lee. Hi, She-Hawk. Hi, Rip. Hi, Jay Rance. Hi, Hi, Gal. Hi, Tom and GA. How are you? And Jen Griffin. And Jim Nalgren's here, and butterflies are free. Yeah. Oh my God, what is it with this kid? What's wrong with you? Are you going to behave yourself, or are you going to just be like this? Who do I do? I don't do any of it. I'm not supporting anybody. Least of all you big fucking moron. Why don't you go fucking scam some granny out of money or something? Hi, Margaret. Can you guys hear it? Seriously. Because I could be over talking it too much.
You get 30 seconds to respond.
Or
and
if
when the
they're
time
too
runs out, we all
boo, 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 boo.
So tonight, these candidates have a big opportunity to break out of the pack.
This is it. This is your big opportunity. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. And that's the number that's coming up next. We're actually gonna. Oh, it's too low. They're gonna.
Things are looking up.
They're going to start chorus line.
I'm not sure they meant it in a totally complimentary way at the time. But guess what? It's working.
But is it? More than 65% of Americans say the country is
remember
headed
all
in the
your
wrong
ethics, but
direction.
here you are
And here's the
watching the
reality for some
Republican
voters we
debate.
talked to here in Wisconsin this week.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'll smoke one.
We have noticed a dramatic increase in prices at the grocery store just across the board.
Gas is
Oh, we might
high, and
have
food is high. A lot of people out here homeless because they can't buy food.
It's tough when you got mortgage rates at 7-8% versus 2 to 3. It's just you can't afford the house anymore.
It's inflation is
There we
ridiculous.
go. We'll try
It's
this.
killing us out here.
Why? Yeah, I don't know.
As we sit here tonight, the number one song
He's a weirdo.
on the
He's a
Billboard
thirsty
chart
weirdo.
is called Rich Men North of Richmond. It is by a singer from
I thought this guy
Harvard,
was
Virginia,
totally.
named Oliver Anthony.
I thought this
His
guy was
lyrics speak of
totally
alienation,
doing
of
something
deep frustration
around.
with the state of government.
What the fuck
and
are
of
you
this
even
country.
talking about? Okay,
Washington,
well, you want to
D.C.
be
is
fucked
about
around
100
so
miles
bad? Just
north of
fucking
Richmond.
get out, you loser. You're the biggest fucking loser on the planet. Next to this guy. Can you imagine? You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Jesus, I called it from day one, but because people liked you, I thought, oh, I'll give that motherfucker a chance. Well, nope, you're as big a piece of shit or
So,
more
Governor
than I
DeSantis,
thought you
why
were.
is this
You
song
fucking loser
striking
scammer
such a
artist.
nerve in this
Fuck
country
off.
right now? What do you think
Bye.
it means?
Our country is in
Yeah,
decline.
I did. Thank you,
This
GA.
decline is not inevitable. It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline. And it starts with understanding we
Jesus
must
Christ.
reverse Bidenomics so that
Lolo,
middle-class
yeah,
families have a chance to
Lolo.
succeed again. We cannot succeed as a
pudding.
country.
Give
If
me
you are
pudding.
working hard and you can't afford groceries, a car, or a new home, while Hunter Biden
Yeah,
can
I
make hundreds
mean-
of thousands of dollars on lousy paintings. That is wrong. We also cannot succeed when the Congress spends trillions and trillions of
People don't
dollars.
get it. House prices
Those
are high.
rich
Yeah,
men
I
north
like
of Richmond have put
And
us
orange.
in this situation. And finally,
And brings
we need to lower your gas prices. We're going to open up
This
all
guy.
energy production. We will be energy dominant again in this country. I showed
No,
it could
we
be done
won't.
in the state
No,
of
wait a
Florida.
minute. What?
I pledge to you as your president, we will get the job done, and I will not let you down.
He is so excited. Yeah. He's an angry elf.
Governor Christie, do you agree with Governor DeSantis just said there? And why would you be better on the economy than him?
So,
Well, look,
so
I do agree predominantly with what Governor DeSantis just laid out. I think
oh, and
that if you
what
asked
about
every
that
one of us
Taylor
up here, that we
Toronto
would agree
guy?
predominantly with what he just laid out. Here's the difference. The difference is that
Stop.
we're going to have to
Fucking chud.
work and make sure that we
Boogaloo
sell these
chud.
ideas. And we
Right,
be
Mom?
able to put ourselves in a position where we get a majority of the vote, not only by winning the Congress and the Senate in the 24, but also by having someone who's had the experience of doing it. Now, I was elected as a conservative
I
Republican
know. Try
in
to
a
be
blue state
likable, please.
with
Welcome,
61%
yeah.
of the vote, with a Democratic
This guy's like,
legislature against me the entire
I'm going to
time.
be calm.
And we still, through hard,
Hi, basket
strong
package.
decision making, brought them around to our point of view. We cut taxes in New Jersey. We cut debt in New Jersey. We made sure that each and every time we were confronted with bad democratic ideas, we stood and stopped them. And when there were good ideas, we brought people together to make progress going forward. Truth and accountability are the things we need to do to fight waste. And I'd say the last thing is this, Brett. We cannot sit by any longer and allow the kind of spending that's going on in Washington, because every dollar they spend is a dollar that these people are not allowed to spend on their children and their grandchildren. It's robbing our country and it's wrong.
Well, Governor, let me just follow up very quickly. New Jersey, when you were governor, had the second lowest credit rating in the nation after Illinois, and it was downgraded 11 times.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what happens when you inherit a blue
Brett's
state.
starting to look
that
like
has done that. But
a
when you look at what we did on debt, Brett, in that
one of the
state,
animatronics
we
from
cut
Five
debt
Nights
in
at
that state,
Freddy's.
debt that had been left to us by 3 Democratic gubernatorial
Wipe
predecessors.
your
We
mouth.
ran up that debt
Oh, my God.
tremendously. And what you also saw us do was to cut the unemployment rate in half.
Yeah.
It was over 10% when I became governor
Oh,
in
yes, I will.
2010. What we also did was cut pension payments
I'll
to
be
public
quiet, too.
employees to make sure that taxpayers were not being soaked by a public employee union system
Stop.
that was killing the taxpayer.
Thank you, Governor.
Tim Scott, Senator Scott, excuse me. The song also goes after welfare programs. As a senator, now President Biden argued for freezing federal spending. This was back in the 80s, and dealing with sacred cows. He does not talk about that anymore. You have been a senator, though, for 10 years. So what have you done to rein in the increasing size of government?
Well, thank you for the question. Over the last several years, I've had an opportunity to vote against spending package after spending package after spending package. What we also need to understand is that Joe Biden's Bidenomics has led to the loss of $10,000 of spending power for the average family. When you see 16% inflation, your gas is up 40%, your food is up 20%, your electricity is up 20%. We can stop that by turning the spigot off at Washington, sending the money back to the states, and allowing the decisions to be made at their own houses. I helped write the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017. We cut taxes for a single mom like the one that raised me by 70%, for dual households by 60%, returning to the average family $4,000. If you don't send it to Washington, we can't spend it. That's good news for the American people.
Okay, but just to follow up, you did, during the Trump administration, you approved 4.4 trillion, 4.1 trillion, 1.7 trillion over the course of that administration. That's
what do you think about that?
There's no doubt that during the Trump administration, when we were dealing with the COVID virus, we spent more money. But here's what happened at the end of our time in the majority. We had low unemployment, record low unemployment, 3.5% for the majority of the population, 70-year low for women, African Americans, Asians had an all-time low. But our inflation was at 2%. Under Joe Biden, we've seen the exact opposite. We've seen inflation explode, which led to 12 Federal Reserve increases. That's devastating home buyers today.
Well, it's not
Mr.
great.
Ramaswamy,
Welcome
you're
to
listening to these
If I may, I
hold
mean,
on
that
one
was
second.
our
We're
administration,
going
so
to-
I don't know if I get a chance to
pandemic,
respond.
He didn't mention you
Very
specifically, but we'll be with you in a second,
worldwide,
Mr.
and
Vice
it takes
President.
a while for the
Mr.
supply chain to
Ramaswamy,
come back.
listening to all of this, why should voters choose you over more experienced politicians on this stage? You're basically, a blank slate for people. You're 38 years old. You've said that you only voted in 2 presidential elections before this moment, this political race.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage?
Oh, I know
I'm not
who
a
you
politician,
are.
Brett. You're right about that. I'm an entrepreneur. My parents came to this country with no money 40
I'm a
years
failed
ago.
tech bro.
I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while
And
marrying
then
my wife,
lost them.
Apoorva,
No, I just,
raising our 2
I don't know.
sons, following our faith in God. That is the American dream. And I am genuinely worried that that American dream will not exist for our 2 sons and their generation unless we do something about it. And I do think Brett is going to take an outsider. Because for a long time, we have professional
He's so weird.
politicians in the Republican Party who have been running from something. Now is our moment to start running to something.
He's got kids.
To our vision of what it means to be an American today. If you have a broken car, you don't turn over the keys to the people who broke it again. You hand it over to a new generation to actually fix the problem.
No,
That's
you
why
don't
I'm in this
even
race
know.
and we're just getting warmed up.
You don't even know history. He fails history questions all the time. I
This
can't
economy that
remember.
we've heard all of these voters talking about tonight. Then Mr. Ramaswamy, who is a successful entrepreneur nationally right now, he's beating you in the polls.
Well, I don't care about polls. What I care about the fact is that no one is telling the American people the truth. The truth is that Biden didn't do this to us. Our Republicans did this to us too. When they passed that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill, they left us with 90 million people on Medicaid, 42 million people on food stamps. No one has told you how to fix it. I'll tell you how to fix it. They need to stop the spending. They need to stop the borrowing. They need to eliminate the earmarks that the Republicans brought back in, and they need to make sure they understand these are taxpayer dollars. It's not their dollars. And while they're all saying this, you have Ron DeSantis, you've got Tim Scott, you've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt, and Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt. And our kids are never going to forgive us for this. And so at the end of the day, you look at the 2024 budget.
I don't know.
Republicans asked for $7.4 billion in earmarks. Democrats asked
Never
for
heard of
$2.8 billion. So you
Another
tell me who
angry
are the
elf.
big spenders.
He
I
is an
think it's
angry
time
elf.
for an accountant in the White House.
Vice President Pence. You were mentioned there.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
54% of voters say
Here
the
we
cost
go.
of groceries is a, quote, major problem for them.
Right.
You blamed the Biden administration spending for that increase. But as vice president, your administration spent more than any prior, $7.8 trillion added to the national debt, $3.5 trillion of that before COVID. So does that mean that you're part of the spending problem?
Well, first off, thanks for the question. Thanks for letting me respond to a reference to our administration's record.
Oh,
I'm
God.
incredibly proud of the record of the Trump-Pence administration. I mean, in
Are you?
4 short years, we rebuilt our
How about
military.
the part
We revived
in
our
the-
economy.
how
We
about the
unleashed
part where
American
the
energy. And we
people
appointed
tried to
3
stay in
conservatives to
power?
the
Are you
Supreme
okay with
Court
that
that
part?
gave the
Oh,
American
hi,
people a new
Dee. Hi,
beginning for the right to
Dee.
life.
Hi, Dee.
Now,
I don't know
Martha,
about
you asked
Spain, but
earlier
we're here.
who's
Some
the
people
most
are here.
best
People are here.
prepared for this job. And I must say, with all due
You
respect to
lie,
all of my
you
friends
lie.
on the stage, and even to one that's probably looking on, I think unquestionably I am the best prepared, the most tested, the most qualified and proven conservative in this race. I was a leader in the Congress of the United States. I led Indiana where we balanced budgets and had a AAA bond rating when I was governor.
Oh,
And as
really?
vice president of the United States, we spent funding to backfill on the military cuts of the Obama administration. And then we were there in the worst pandemic in 100 years. All that being said, I was the first person in this race to say that we've got to deal with the long-term national debt issues. You got people on this stage that won't even talk about issues like Social Security and Medicare. I mean, Vivek, you recently said a president can't do everything. Well, I got news for you, Vivek. I've been in the hallway. I've been in the West Wing. A president of the United States has to confront
I've been
every
running for
crisis
my life.
facing America. I will put our nation
This is
back
it. It
on the
wasn't
path
I
to
was
growth and
crazy.
prosperity and restore fiscal responsibility, just as I did in Congress and as governor
Mr. Vice President.
and when I was vice president.
But
Yeah, I mean,
hold on.
It's a
Yeah,
midweek
so
trap.
you were named earlier. I'm going to get Vivek first.
We'll get to both.
Yeah, this isn't that complicated, guys. Unlock American energy. Drill, frack,
Drill,
burn
drill,
coal,
drill is
embrace
what he's
nuclear.
saying.
Put people back to work by no longer paying them
Yes,
more to
hi,
stay at
Dee.
home.
How are you?
Reform the U.S. Fed, stabilize the U.S. dollar,
Mother is
and
fighting
go to
to
war.
us.
The only war that I will declare as U.S. president will be the war on the federal administrative state that is the source of those
You
toxic
guys are so
regulations,
funny.
acting like a wet blanket on the economy. So I'm not sure I exactly understood Mike Pence's comment, but I'll let you all parse that out. For me, it's pretty simple. That's something a U.S. president can do. With
They
focus,
do.
And I'll deliver on
Well,
it.
let me explain it to
They
you. Let me explain it to you,
do.
Vivek, if I can. I'll go slower this time.
Oh!
I sometimes struggle with.
Oh!
I was a
Oh!
House conservative
Oh!
leader before it was
Oh!
cool. I
Oh!
actually pushed
Oh!
the Deficit
Oh!
Reduction Act. That was the last time we actually reduced the national debt in the United States when I was the leader of House conservatives. I balanced budgets and cut taxes when I was governor.
I killed
look, Joe
about
Biden has
800,000
weakened this
people.
country
Hi,
at
Marie.
home and abroad. Now is not the
Oh my
time for on-the-job training.
You
We
all
don't need to
have
bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience. We need to bring
That is so
30
great.
seconds when you have a rebuttal, okay? And you are up, Governor.
It's
DeSantis.
bad.
So
Oh,
here's
even
the
he
thing.
has it on.
Why are we in this mess? Part of it, and a major reason, is because how this federal government handled COVID-19 by locking down this economy. It was a mistake. It should have never happened. And in Florida, we led the country out of lockdown. We kept our state free
Like a
and
teen
open.
concert.
And I can tell you this,
It's like
as your
BTS.
president, I will never let the deep state bureaucrats lock you down. You don't take somebody like Fauci and coddle him.
I will make
You
sure
bring
there's
Fauci
every
in, you
chance for
sit
you
him
to
down,
try.
and you say, Anthony, you are fired.
Oh, that didn't land the same way.
I just want to respond to Mike for 1 second because he invoked me back. Listen, now that everybody's gotten their memorized,
back.
prepared slogans out of the way, we can actually have a real discussion now. The reality of the fact of the matter
Was that one of yours?
not really, Mike, actually. We're just going to have some fun tonight.
even
And
see
the
it
reality
fast
is,
enough. You guys
you
are
have a bunch of people, professional politicians, super PAC puppets,
Oh my
following slogans handed over to them by their 400-page super PACs last week. The real choice we face in this primary is this. Do you want a super PAC puppet, or do you want a patriot who speaks the truth? Do you want incremental reform,
Would
which is
Fauci
what you're
stop
hearing
caring
about,
about salad
or do you
dressing?
want
And does
revolution?
it come in random?
And I stand on the side of the American
Wait, who
revolution.
used the F
We're
word?
going to take control back here.
We need everyone
Remember?
to have a moment
Did
on
he
the
say F
economy.
word?
I think that's fair.
Can I address the
There are
COVID
two
issue
people
Sorry,
who
I
have not. We're going to get back to that. We are. There are two people who we have not heard from yet. So let's hear from Governor Burgum and then from Governor Hutchinson.
Hey,
On the
Burgum.
economy, sir.
He
Well,
heard
great.
himself.
Thank you, Martha.
He's on
And
pain kit. He's
of
on
course,
pain
I'm
meds.
from a town of 300 people. It's a big deal to make it on this stage with all these folks. But when they were all wishing me well, and I think I took them a little too literally when they said go to Milwaukee and break a leg. So, but I do want to say on this, we're missing something. We can't just talk about the Biden economy because the economy, energy, and national security are all tied together. Of course, we're paying too much for our energy in our state in our country right now. But part of the reason why is because of the Biden policies on energy. We've got a plan right now, the $1.2 trillion of Green New Deal spending buried in the Inflation Creation Act is something that is just subsidizing China. If we're going to stop buying oil from the Middle East and start buying batteries from China, we're just trading OPEC for Sinopec. And then belatedly, the Biden administration says, no, we're going to put sanctions on Russian oil. Well, we put sanctions on Russian oil. Well, then it's 20% off. Who's buying it? China. So if you buy a battery in this country, you buy a solar panel, it's being produced in a plant in China powered by coal, or it's being powered by oil and gas at 20% off. And every farmer in this country would like to buy diesel at 20% off, just like they're buying it in China.
Governor Hutchinson, quickly.
Thank you, Grant. Delighted to be here tonight. And let me just tell you that I'm a pro-life governor from a conservative state that have a conservative record in which I lowered taxes in Arkansas as governor. I created a $2 billion surplus that I passed over to my successor.
I agree, Paul.
And I made sure that we shrunk the size of government.
Oh,
we have 14% fewer state
I
employees
thought
in
you were dead.
Arkansas
This is one of
after
those
I
guys
left
that I
government than when I took
seriously
over
thought.
as governor 8 years ago. I tell that because that's what we need in Washington, D.C. We need somebody who can actually constrain the growth of the federal government, that can actually reduce the size, and I've pledged to reduce by 10% our federal non-defense workforce. That's a specific pledge to make that attacks the administrative state. And let me applaud some of the business partners that are here that have had success in business. But let me tell you, I've been a federal prosecutor. I've served our country in terms of being head of the DEA, in Homeland Security, in times of crisis.
Hello,
And
Michael.
while I think that that's experience that is important for the future of our country.
I really thought you
to
were
be
dead.
the president of the United States
I
that
am
can
sorry
lead
about that.
with positive solutions and be held accountable.
Thank you. We have a lot of topics to get to, and I promise we're going
Yeah,
to get to
so
everyone
just
if we
calm
play with the
down,
rules.
boys.
Okay, next topic. More than 1,000 people are still unaccounted for in Maui after the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than a century. Hawaii's governor and White House officials said that climate change amplified the cost of human error.
And a tropical storm hit California for the first time in 84 years. The ocean hit 101 degrees off the coast of Florida. And in the last month, the heat wave in the Southwest broke records nearly 50 years old.
So Alexander Diaz from Young America's Foundation has a question for you.
Polls consistently show that young people's #1 issue is climate change. How will you, as both President of the United States and leader of the Republican Party, calm their fears that the Republican Party doesn't care about climate change?
So we want to start on this with a show of hands. Do you believe in human behavior is causing climate change? Raise your hand if you do.
Look, we're not school children. Let's have the debate. I mean, I'm happy to take it to start. Alexander?
So do you want to raise your hand or not?
I don't think that's the way to do. So let me just say to Alexander this. First of all, One of the reasons our country's decline is because of the way the corporate media treats Republicans versus Democrats. Biden was on the beach while those people were suffering. He was asked about it. He said, no comment. Are you kidding me? As somebody that's handled disasters in Florida, you got to be activated. You've got to be there. You've got to be present. You've got to be helping people who are doing this. And here's the deal.
Let's just answer the question. So is that a yes? Or is that a yes? Is that a hand raise?
You do not.
I think it was a hand raise for him, and it's my hands are in my pockets.
No,
because
no,
the
I
climate
didn't
change
raise- I
agenda
didn't
is a
raise a
hoax. Let us be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax. And we have to declare.
Peter Thiel says, hold my beer.
The reality is, the anti-carbon agenda is the
I
wet
own
blanket
you.
on our economy. And so the reality is more people are dying of bad climate change policies than they are of actual climate change.
Governor Haley, are you bought and paid for? Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Listen.
I've had it,
Wait, hold on.
I've had enough. I've had enough already tonight.
Ooh.
The guy who sounds like ChatGPT
Whoa.
standing up here.
What?
And the last person in one of these debates, Brett,
Oh
who
my
stood in the middle of the stage and said, what's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here, was Barack Obama. And I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
Whoa! Whoa!
Just like you did to Obama.
If I live through, oh, it's a knockdown drag out.
Hold on. Governor
Oh,
Haley,
Adriana,
would
I'm
you like
so
to respond?
sorry.
Are
Be
you bought and paid
What I
for?
want
better.
to say is the fact
Oh,
that
I'm
I
sending
think
you a big hug.
this is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
He was like, I've been waiting all night to use that
First of
line.
all, we do care about clean air, clean water. We want to see that taken care of.
Nikki,
But there's
men's
a right
rights
way to
movement
do it.
isn't
And
going
the
to
right
vote for
way to
you.
do it is, first of all, yes, is climate change real? Yes, it is. But if you want to go and really change the environment, then we need to start telling China and India that they have to lower their emissions. That's where our problem is. And these green subsidies that Biden has put in, all he's done is help
Bobblehead,
China
yep.
because he doesn't understand all these electric vehicles that he's done. What that does,
He's done?
half of the batteries for electric vehicles
Calling it
are made in
antibiotics and
China.
cough medicine.
And so
Oh,
that's
Adriana,
not helping the
please
environment.
take care of
You're putting
yourself.
money in China's
So
pocket, and
sorry.
Biden did that. So first of
Miserable.
all, I think we need to acknowledge the truth, which is these subsidies are not working. We also need to take on the international world and say, okay, India and China, you've got to stop polluting, and that's when we'll start to deal with
Senator
climate
Scott, are you
change.
bought and paid for?
Absolutely.
Are you bought and paid for?
Absolutely.
Are you bought and paid
Absolutely not. I mean, here's what the American people
Oh, you didn't
deserve:
get a chance.
is a debate about the issues that affect their lives. Going back and forth, being childish, is not helpful to the American people to decide on the next leader of our country. Number one. Wait a
Well,
second.
that's good
Number
one.
two,
Oh.
as a kid who grew up in a single-parent household mired in poverty, I wondered, was the American dream real for kids who are devastated by poverty, devastated by the challenges of life? I came to the conclusion that America can
I feel
do
like
for
Tim and
anyone
Nikki
what
have to be
she's
the
done for
smartest
me.
people on
if
that stage.
we
If we're going
focus
to
on
talk about
restoring hope,
who's
creating
smart,
opportunities, and protecting America.
I feel like
If
it's
we
Tim
want the environment to be better, and we all do, the best thing to do is to bring our jobs home from China. If we create
how are
10
you gonna
million
do
new
that?
jobs
Then
in my
you're gonna
leading
have to
America plan,
require
we will have
people to
a
pay
better economy
more
and
for
a
their
better
stuff.
environment. Let me tell you why I say that, Brett. America,
Do it quickly.
America has cut. I'm a Southern boy. I talk slow. So America.
No!
That was quick. America has cut our carbon footprint in half in the last 25 years. The places where they are continuing to increase: Africa, 950 million people. India, over 1 billion. China, over 1 billion. Why would we put ourselves at a disadvantage, devastating our own economy? Let's bring our jobs home.
We have a lot of different topics to get to.
Yeah, we do. We thank you all. Thank you,
Yeah.
Senator Scott.
Now we can't throw
Coming up
shade,
next,
that would
the
be
candidates will
childish.
weigh in on what could be a defining issue in the 2024 campaign. The first Republican debate continues moments away.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hello. Wow, 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 wow. Hold on. I'll be.
We've got to be a lot smarter in how we talk about women.
We gotta
and how
get
we
a
show
lot
them that we
smarter.
care. We're going to stand up for the unborn in Washington, D.C. And if you cannot do that, you should not be the nominee for the Republican Party. This is a defining moment.
Pick your nose.
Do you trust our government and where?
No. Hi, I'm an actor who had to take this job with a right-wing media outlet. Jen, thank you. Thanks for the super sticker. I love you. They don't ever learn. It's so true. Hey, yeah, I'm selling gold. What do you think we should do, dear? Well, I think we should buy these gold bars and shove them up our... What? Oh my God. Yep. I want a physical gold. I want these stupid ass coins that are not worth anything really when we go to sell them, but that's okay. Hey, look, everybody online lies about us so that we can get really good ratings. And again, I'm an out of work actor who had to take this job in order to feed my family and my chihuahuas. So text now so that you can get some. Not only is it gold, it's birch gold because it's not disgusting enough. Thank you. BioBreak, BRB. Hi, I wish I had a card with my name on it. And then I would smoke cigars and sit on my what? Hi, Siegfried. Yep, there's a gal thread for that. Dude, you're going to go, oh, well, snorting cocaine is one way to relax. I don't know. I'm just wondering, but that's okay. If they were the shape of the gumdrops, they would go up the rectum easier. Right? Lipru, thank you. Thinking outside the box is what is needed here. I think that's great. I pledge allegiance to the fascist state of whatever. I'm going to make a sword because I'm really mad. Making a sword. Don't bug me. What do you mean, me? Am I making that sword? Oh. Wait, that's happening again? So now what are we doing? Are you going to marry me or not? Okay, well, I'm keeping the ring. Oh, okay, I see. They went overseas. Okay. Yes, weed break. Oh, please. I'm Russell Brand, and I'm a big flaming idiot. You shouldn't listen to a fucking thing I say. One time I had a funny movie, but it was only because I'm just a disgusting piece of shit. So don't worry about that. And that's no, I'm a piece of shit. Please don't listen to me. This scarf smells like shit. I'm saying right now, it's really time to break free of me. Yeah, that's right. Yet again, I really need you to buy this gold because if I don't sell any of this gold, what is going to happen? BioBreak is boop. The warp. No, really, you gotta buy it. I don't know. I can't see this going up our rectums. I just can't see. I just can't see it. What about this booklet? I still don't see it. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. That happens. Protect your retirement from DC's politics. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a fuck. Hold on. Here we are in downtown somewhere.
Losing issue for Republicans since the
Oh yeah,
decision.
Milwaukee.
In 6
This
state
woman's a bitch.
referendums,
Can I just tell you
all
that? I just
have
watched her
upheld
on the 5.
abortion
She's a
rights
bitch.
in this country. And even in red states, there are more swing state
Right?
referendums that are coming up as we head into the elections as well on this. So, Governor Haley, what do you say to your party and to your state, which today confirmed a 6-week abortion law as well, especially the impact on women suburban voters across this country?
Yeah.
Thank you, Martha. I am unapologetically pro-life, not because the Republican Party tells me to be, but because my husband was adopted
Nipple
and I had trouble
buttons,
having both of my
nipple
children, so I'm surrounded by blessings.
Nipple
Having said that,
buttons,
we need to
nipple
stop
buttons.
demonizing this issue. This is talking about the fact that unelected
Worse
justices
than that,
didn't need to decide
it's
something
fake
this
Chanel.
personal, because it's personal for every woman and man. Now
It's
it's been put in the
fake
hands of the people.
Chanel.
That's great. When it comes to a federal ban, let's be honest with the American people and say it will take
He's an
60
elitist
Senate votes.
who
It will
shops
take
at
a majority of the
H&M.
House. So in order to do that, let's find consensus. Can't we all agree that we should ban late-term
I think
abortions?
they give her. I mean,
Can't
maybe
we
that's
all
like
agree
exciting.
that
You
we
know,
should
like kiss
encourage
buttons on the
adoptions?
inside,
Can't
and
we
then
all
like rub up
agree that
against her,
doctors and nurses who
you know,
don't
lady
believe in
parts
abortion shouldn't have to
make
perform
her
them?
like keep her
Can't
on
we all
point.
agree that contraception should be
And
available?
she
And
might have
can't we
gotten it on
all
the real
agree
real.
that we are
I
not
don't
going to
know.
put a woman in jail or give her the death penalty if she gets an abortion? Let's treat this like a respectful issue that it is, and humanize the situation and stop
Yes,
demonizing
they are
the
all doing
situation.
fake out. And actually, that is the
Vice President
secret.
Pence, Governor DeSantis,
The
you
secret to
signed a
this is
6-week abortion ban in Florida.
Oh, he's
One of
trying
your
to
biggest
smile.
financial
He's
backers
trying to
said
smile.
that you need to, quote, shift to get moderates or you will lose. What do you say to him
You
and
need
others
to
who say
get a
politically
personality or
that is a
you'll
tough thing to sell nationally?
Well, I would say we sold the biggest election landslide victory in the history of the Republican Party in the state of
sold
Florida in
it.
2022. That's what
You
I did.
sold it.
We can
You
win.
sold it.
But second of all, look, you got to do what you think is right. I believe in a culture of life. I was proud to sign the heartbeat bill. I remember one of the most impactful moments of my life was when I heard the heartbeat of my oldest daughter in my wife's womb, and then saw the sonograms
Stop
of
listening
all
to
three
that.
of my
Yeah,
kids.
he
What the
said stole
Democrats
it.
are trying
He
to
said
do
stole
on this
it.
issue
He
is
said
wrong
it.
to allow abortion all the way up to the moment
Oh
of
yeah,
birth.
there's been
I know a
massive
lady in
pooping.
Florida named
I mean,
Penny.
those
She
bathrooms
survived
are
multiple
wrecked.
abortion attempts. She was left discarded in a pan. Fortunately, her grandmother saved her and brought her to a different hospital. We're better than what the Democrats are selling. We are not going to allow abortion all the way up till birth, and we will hold them accountable for their extremism.
But just to be clear, Governor, would you say
you're
a
the
6-week
fucking
ban federally?
fucker.
I'm going to stand on the side of life. Look, I understand Wisconsin is going to do it different than Texas. I understand Iowa and New Hampshire are going to do different. But I will support the cause of life as governor and as president.
Vice President Pence, you're shaking your head.
Are you gonna do a
Hold on, Senator. Vice
national
President Pence.
ban, bitch?
You're shaking your head. What?
Well, look, I'm not new to this cause.
Yeah, we know.
After I gave my life to Jesus Christ as my
Oh
Lord and Savior, I opened up the book and I read, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you."
Oh man, this is his
And see, I
lane.
set before you life
This
and
is his
death,
fucking lane.
blessings and curses. Now choose life.
He's
And I
like,
knew from that
I
moment on, the cause of life had to
got
be
my
my
way
cause.
into this.
And I've been a champion for life in the Congress, a champion for life as governor and as vice president. And to be honest with you, Nikki, you're my friend, but consensus is the opposite of leadership.
Ooh.
When the Supreme Court returned this question to the
The
American people, they
shade.
didn't just send it to the states only. It's not a states only issue,
Melissa.
it's a moral issue. And I promise you, as President of the United States, the American people will have a champion for life in the Oval Office. Can't we have a minimum standard in every state in the nation that says when a baby is capable of feeling pain, an abortion cannot be allowed? A 15-week ban is an idea whose time has come. It's supported by 70% of the American people,
Here's what you
but it's going
think.
to take unapologetic leadership that stands on principle and expresses compassion for women in crisis pregnancies. I'll do that as President of the United States.
He called my name, so I want to respond to
He
that.
called my name.
So first of all, I will say it is in the hands of the people, and that's where it should be. But when you're talking about a federal ban, be honest with the American people. We haven't had 45 pro-life senators in over 100 years. So no Republican president can ban abortions any more than a Democrat president could ban all those state laws. Don't make women feel like they have to decide on this issue when you know we don't have 60 Senate votes in the House.
70% of the American people
Right?
support
He isn't
legislation
eligible.
But
to ban
70%
abortion
of the
after a
Senate
baby is
does
capable
not.
of experiencing pain. It's just going to take leadership.
Hold on.
70% of the Senate does not. You have to be honest with the
We have
American
to have
people.
a 15-week
All right,
limit.
let's get Governor Bergman for one minute here. But the Supreme Court did overturn Roe v. Wade. And the result of that decision was that
Oh
it
my
went back
God,
to
Adriana.
the states.
Where is
So that's where it is right now. So
right?
as I understand it, you are not in favor of a federal ban. What do you say about the states? There's about 5 of them, including New Jersey, I think a few others.
Great emoji, Margaret.
That allow abortion up until the time of birth, though. If you were president, would you be able to abide that?
Well, first of all, I'm a pro-life governor of a very pro-life state. And this issue is, of course, very important. But I am on the record, and I stand behind that we should not have a federal abortion ban. We should not. And the reason why we shouldn't is very simple. It's the 10th Amendment in the Constitution. In the Constitution, which the states created the federal government, not the other way around, it says that there were certain duties allowed to the federal government delegated to them by the states. The rest are left to the states, comma, or importantly, or to the people. We need to get back to freedom and liberty for the people in this country. And we can't have Republicans who fight for 50 years for this great cause and to return it back to the states, and then the next day they turn around and go, no, the feds should do that, because the feds are stepping into people's lives, they're stepping into people's businesses.
I told you, Melissa,
If we say that the feds should be in on this one, where do we stop? I say that we follow the Constitution, and this is returned to the states. This is where it should be.
But Governor Burgum, you signed a
That's what I
6-week ban.
thought. I thought this
You
was
signed a 6-week ban.
got
Governor
a guy
Burgum, you
up
signed a 6-week ban. So you're saying federally, it's all going to go to the states.
Yes, and what is going to work in New York will never work in North Dakota, and vice versa. That's
Governor
why 50
Asa
states.
Hutchinson,
That's why
right here.
50 states.
This is too important of an issue that I have to address. First of all, the Supreme Court gave it back to the elected representatives, whether it's the states or whether it's the United States Congress.
That's
So there is authority, and that's why President Biden is pushing for a Democrat proposal, which is in essence abortion on demand through the term. So they have their extreme position at a national level. It's most likely going to be addressed in the states, but it's certainly fine for it to be addressed at the national level as well.
Cooper lives there.
Arkansas has the record of being the most pro-life state in the nation. I signed 30 pro-life pieces of legislation while I was governor. And every state can determine a different outcome here. And it is the most important issue for women and for the unborn child and for our country that we get this right. It's going to be a continued debate. Let's talk about it in terms of compassion, in terms of protecting the life, and also understanding how we have to
hold on, let me try and get it.
Adoption services, how we have to enhance maternal care. Those things we've done in Arkansas and are important for our nation's future.
There are a lot of issues that are very important. Senator, I'll let you weigh in.
We cannot let states like California, New York, and Illinois have abortions on demand up until the day of birth. That is immoral. It is unethical. It is wrong. We must have a president of the United States who will advocate and fight for, at the minimum, a 15-week limit. I am 100% pro-life conservative. I have 100% pro-life record. I got to tell you, though, we must fight for life. Our Declaration of Independence says our Creator gave us inalienable rights that include life. That is a list. That is an issue we must solve. We can't leave it to Illinois. We can't leave it to Minnesota. We can't leave it to Illinois. We must solve that issue with a 15-week limit at a minimum.
Brett, I think we're all pro-life, but what I would love is for someone to ask Biden and Kamala Harris, are they for 38 weeks? Are they for 39 weeks? Are they for 40 weeks? Because that's what the media needs to be asking.
All right, another issue is America and the crime crisis, the homelessness crisis. American cities are in decline. People are moving out as homelessness, drugs, crime move in. There are problems accelerated. They did accelerate during the pandemic and are still rising, actually.
Murders in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, all up 30%
Who
between
is gonna
2019
say
and
crime?
2022. Homelessness is up 11%.
Oh,
the
now we
largest
care about
jump in
homeless
recorded
people? That's
history.
great. I'm
Vice
so happy
President
to hear
Pence,
that.
A lot of this began in the COVID era. How much of what we're seeing happening around this country is a result of those COVID lockdowns? And is your administration in part to blame for how we got here?
Well, I think what's in part to blame is the Democrats been talking about defunding the police for the last
What?
5 years.
Oh my God,
And we ought
that's
to be
so,
funding
that's
law
not. Oh my
enforcement,
God,
particularly in
that's
our
so
major
old.
cities, at unprecedented levels.
So old.
I mean, it's extraordinary to think about the violence that's claiming innocent lives literally every week in every major city in this country. And yet Democrats and liberal prosecutors in major metropolitan areas continue to work out their fanciful agendas, to do bail reform and go easy. What we need is strong commitment to law enforcement. We need leadership in Washington, D.C. that'll marshal the resources of the states, marshal the resources of the American people. But let me also say it's about opportunity. I mean, a lot of people don't know that those Trump-Pence tax cuts that we got signed into law go away at the end of 2025 if we don't have a Republican president and a Republican House and a Republican Senate. When I'm president of the United States, we're actually going to cut taxes further. We're going to extend those tax cuts, and we're going to close the Federal Department of Education, block grant all that funding back to the states. With a growing economy and educational choice and law enforcement, we will bring our cities back.
Governor Christie, another issue. This weekend here in Milwaukee, reports say there were 30 shootings, and a number of them including kids. Add that to the big increase in school shootings around the country. Democrats blame this crisis on easy access to guns. They also blame Republicans for blocking gun control legislation. What would President Christie do?
You know, I'm proud of the fact, Brett, that I'm the only person, along with Governor Hutchinson, up on this stage who's actually running United States Attorney's Office. I ran the 5th largest office in America in a state where there is significant urban crime. And the problem is not going to be solved by more money. The problem is that these prosecutors in these localities in the states are refusing to do their job and to arrest violent criminals. So what a President Christie would do is appoint an attorney general who would instruct each of the 93 U.S. attorneys that they are to take over the prosecution of violent crime in every one of those cities that are failing to do so. We have plenty of room in the federal prisons to lock up these violent criminals and clean up what's going on all across this country in these individual cities. Secondly, what we need to make sure that each and every one of these criminals understand is that the laws apply to everybody. And when Hunter Biden fills out a fake application, a false application for a gun permit, and then is facing a 10-year mandatory minimum, which was mandated by legislation sponsored by his father. And then you have a Justice Department that walks away from those charges. We're telling people that the law doesn't apply to everybody. In a Christie administration, he would go to jail for 10 years.
What about a President Ramaswamy? What does a President Ramaswamy do about guns?
So the reality is we have a crime wave in this country and we know how to fix it. The question is, do we actually have the spine to do it? More cops in the streets who are on the streets able to do their jobs without looking over their shoulder for getting sued. And we also have a mental health epidemic in this country. Just over the same period that we have closed mental health institutions, we have seen a spike in violent crime. Do we have the spine to bring them back? I think we should. As president, I will. But it's not just drugging up people in those psychiatric institutions with Zoloft and Seroquel. It's a deeper issue. I think faith-based approaches can play a role here too. We're in the middle of a national identity crisis. And I say this as a member of my generation. The problem in our country right now, the reason we have that mental health epidemic, is that people are so hungry for purpose and meaning at a time when family, faith, patriotism, hard work have all disappeared.
Okay, I'm so glad.
What we really need is a tonal reset
so glad
from the top.
that
This is what it means to be an American. Yes, we will stand for the rule of law. Yes, we will close the southern border where criminals are coming in every day. And yes, we will back law enforcement because we remember who we really are.
This is it, right?
And that's also how we address that mental health epidemic in
Jesus
the next generation that is
Don't
directly
worry.
leading to violent crime.
Can I
across
speak
this
on
country.
Governor DeSantis, really quickly. Governor DeSantis.
We don't have an identity crisis with that. We're not looking for a new national identity. The American people are the most faith-filled, freedom-loving, idealistic, hardworking people the world has ever known. We just need government as good as our people.
Well, Mike, I think the difference is you might have some others like you may have on the stage. It's Morning in America speech. It is not Morning in America. We live in a dark moment, and we have to confront the fact that we're in an internal sort of cold cultural civil war. And we have to
equating the
recognize
American
that
people with the failed government in Washington, D.C. We just need government as good as our people again.
So let me just finish addressing that slogan because I don't know what that slogan means. We need to shut down the administration station. That's actually how we translate
Crime
it.
has been on the rise in Florida, Governor DeSantis. How do you stop crime?
Well, actually, crime's at a 50-year low
Not
in Florida.
not in Miami.
We're happy with that.
Oh.
Well, the statewide, it's a 50-year low.
Oh.
And so here's the thing.
So
These
Democrat.
hollowed out cities, this is a symptom
So
of America's
Democrats.
decline. And one of the biggest reasons is because you have George Soros funding these radical left-wing district attorneys. They get into office and they say they're not going to prosecute crimes they disagree with. The inmates start running the asylum. There's one guy in this entire country that's ever done anything about that. Me. When we had two of these district attorneys in Florida elected with Soros funding who said they wouldn't do their job, I removed them from their posts. They are gone. And as president, we are going to go after all of these people because they are hurting the quality of life and they are victimizing innocent people in every corner of this country. And it
I
will
guess
stop
no,
when I get into office.
we're on to Hunter Biden.
Well, Martha, I just thought it was interesting. You asked your question about the problems we're having in big cities. Nobody ever asked the question of what about the crime wave in small
Who are
towns?
you again?
Because in a small
How
town,
are you
neighbors help
again?
neighbors.
Can you get me a
People
decaf
understand
coffee?
each other. If a farmer gets sick, everybody comes
Get me
together
a
and helps him
decaf
get the crop off.
coffee.
There's accountability. There's transparency. One thing that I think this country could use is somebody in the White House that understands small town values, because that's our road back to get this country on track again.
Governor Hutchinson?
As former head of the DEA, I understand the drug crisis in America. And right now, whenever you look at the challenges in our inner city, there's
Mama,
three
let me
simple
tell you.
words that would be helpful. One, enforce the law when it comes to crime. Secondly, let's deal with the challenge of fentanyl. And it's both about stopping the fentanyl coming from Mexico, but it's also about education of our young people, making sure that we have the tools that are needed for addiction counseling. That's what we expanded in Arkansas as well. Whenever you look at the underlying challenge of America, though, no one likes to see an America with smash and grab in our inner cities. As President of the United States, that will stop. It starts at the top with the respect for our justice system that a former president who's under indictment has undermined by attacking judges, by attacking prosecutors, by attacking the system and saying he's aggrieved. And so we have to have respect for our justice system and the rule of law, and it starts at the top with the President of the United States.
Thank you.
We're
Hold
gonna
on.
take a break. So speaking of that, right now you are looking live at Fulton County Jail, where former President Donald Trump will be processed tomorrow. So next, the candidates will have an opportunity to talk about the coming trials of Donald Trump.
Dun, 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 dun. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, we're gonna lose this election. We're gonna
Do you trust our government and where the economy is heading?
more than I trust you. Anyway, yes, yet again, Len, let me tell you about erectile dysfunction. Yep, that's right. When you're a Republican, you just can't get it up because, frankly, nobody wants to have sex with you. And that's really just the way it is. And that's all it is. And that's it. And yeah, honey, you should get one of those because, frankly, I need you to deliver. Get that guy who's more handsome in the suit. I want that guy, the guy who looks like an actor. Yes, I want him. Hi, Sable. How are you? That's right. They are mocking Donald Trump. That's right. Yes. And then you two can wait. What? God. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Sorry. Oh, I'm Russell Brand, and I'm a real fucking asshole. Yeah, sound break from me. Rhonda McDaniel, I'm an idiot. I'm a bigger idiot. Let me tell you what a big idiot I am. I'm an idiot too, and I didn't even get on that stage. I'm the biggest idiot. That's right. I said I'm the big. And then I'm kind of a big idiot. I'm a big idiot, and I'm probably number 3. Yeah. So there. Why is that mosquito in our politics? We just isn't doing it. Yeah, no, right? Hi, Joe DeSantis. Hi, Joe. How are you? Right. So true. And then I like to play games and act like wait, what? I didn't mean to shoot you with the coffee. But this is really violent coffee, and it probably tastes like shit. Russell Brand, oh please. Will you be prepared? I don't know. My name's Kate, and I'm a former Navy SEAL, and I couldn't get a real job, so I had to come up with this thing. And I probably just got it from someone in China, and I took their patent. And then I said, well, okay, I'll go ahead and tell people they need to buy this. Don't get a generator. Fuck that shit. Buy my shit. It's not $500. You just wait until you find out how much it is. It's amazing. And you can get 2 now for just, what? Oh, I don't know how much they are. Okay, never mind. Hi, we play baseball. No, we don't. We're on a commercial that is on a right-wing extremist website, and we should not be on this. What do you mean we shouldn't be on that? You're out. What do you mean? I don't understand that. I feel like I should be on No, you should not actually be on. I really should be on right-wing extremist media. What's the matter? What's the matter? Oh, he's back. Anyway, okay, well, I'm going to give you one more chance to shove this gold up your butt. And if you don't want to shove this gold up your butt, then I just think you're going to have to shove this gold up your butt. And that's what I think is going to have to happen. Oh, it's all kinds of clowns. You know, there's a good joke about clowns. Can I tell you about can I tell you about a good clown joke? Lipru, let me tell you a good clown joke. I'll tell you a good clown joke. The clown joke is that the greatest insult that you can possibly give to someone is, who's that clown? Because not only are you calling them a clown, you're saying that they're not even one of the better known clowns. Ha! 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 Cha! Cha! I'm here all week, folks, and twice on Tuesdays.
We are going to take a brief moment and talk about the elephant not in the room.
Oh, he's huge. He's big.
Former President
He's
Trump
orange.
has been indicted in 4 different states on 91 counts. He will be processed tomorrow in Georgia at the Fulton County Jail.
Did I go hang out with
relating
him?
to the 2020 election loss.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee.
Buy a membership while
If
you're here.
Former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still
In the year I
support
was
him
told-
as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
What? What? What?
Just
what?
Hold on.
Wait.
Clear.
Wait.
Christy, you were kind of late to the game there, but you raised your hand.
No, I'm doing this. Look, I'm doing this.
And
not
I know
this.
you didn't.
Whoa. No.
Come, what's the
And then look, here's the bottom line. Someone's got to stop normalizing this conduct. Okay? Now,
It's who would pardon Trump.
Now, whether or not you believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong The conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States. And you know, this is the great thing about this
I'm not
country.
doing that.
Booing is allowed,
You're gonna have to
but
go
it doesn't
away
change
again.
the truth.
You're such a
It doesn't change the truth.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
Why don't you
you
go
raised your
to
hand
your head in
supporting.
a fucking
No,
fountain?
I'd like to get in and respond. Let's just speak the truth, okay? President
Get
Trump,
your
I believe,
fucking head out
was
of
the
your
best
ass.
president of the 21st century. It's a fact. And Chris Christie.
Oh my God. Anyway, AKA Scott is a fucking loser. So anyone who thinks Defender of Ants or whatever the fuck is going by now is worthwhile doing, he's not. He's a trash human.
Want to see a bunch of people
And anyone who follows him and sims him is trash.
iota of vision for this country. They could just
So
change the
go
channel
away.
to MSNBC right now. But I'm not running for president
Loser.
of MSNBC. I am
God,
running
you
for
were
president
so
of the
fucking
United
mean
States.
about my
We're
show,
skating on
but you're
thin
up
ice,
my
and we cannot
ass
set a
with
precedent where the
multiple
party in
alts,
power
you
uses police
stupid,
force to
low
indict its political
energy
opponents. It is wrong. We have to
motherfucker.
of justice in
Fuck
this
off.
country.
30 seconds, Governor.
Let me tell you,
I'm sorry. 30 seconds, Governor.
You make me laugh because
Goes both ways, brother.
you sit here in an answer. You sit here in an answer.
Nikki Haley is not wearing a red tie.
You sit here in an answer.
She's in a fake
Go ahead, Governor Christie.
Hold on, Governor Christie.
Hold on.
Well, so listen, the more time we spend doing this, the less time they can talk about issues you want to talk about. So let's just get through this section. Governor Christie.
You sit here talking about how you want to stand up for the rule of law.
Yes.
And law and order. And the fact is that it can't be selective. In your book, you had much different things to say about Donald Trump than you're saying here tonight.
I would say
And
when you
no,
left,
it is
I don't
very
wanna
true.
look.
That is not
It's
true.
very true. I read it, and
Because
I
there's a
know.
difference
Look,
between
I
bad
know.
behavior and illegal
By the way,
behavior, Chris. And you as a
by the way,
prosecutor should know that.
Yeah, you know what? I know a lot
There's
better.
a difference between
I
bad
know,
behavior.
and I know a lot better than you do. You've never done it like you've never done anything to try to advance the interests of this government except to put yourself forward as a candidate tonight. And here's the thing. We've stood up for law and order. I did it as U.S. attorney. I did it as governor. And I am not going to bow to anyone when we have a president of the United States who disrespects the Constitution. He said,
Your MSNBC contributor.
he said,
These are politicized indictments.
Martha,
We have to call out the truth.
Martha, it's important to say that the president said, Donald Trump said, it's okay to suspend the Constitution. Now, the oath you take is to preserve, protect, and defend, not suspend. I will always stand up for our Constitution, regardless of the political pressure.
We have another question for you. We're going to get everyone in on this issue, but I have another question. I have another question. Hold on, you will. All right. So President Trump's former vice president is on this stage tonight. He has faced hecklers on the campaign trail over his actions on January the 6th. On that day, the vice president moved forward with the certification of the election. So do you believe that Mike Pence did the right thing, Senator Scott? Do you believe he did the right thing?
Absolutely. He did the right thing. Number one. Number two, we should be asking ourselves a bigger question about the weaponization of the Department of Justice. When I'm president, the first thing I'll do is fire Merrick Garland. Second thing I'll do, fire Christopher Wray, because we need Lady Justice to wear a blindfold. Without that, no one has confidence in our justice system. 17% of Republicans have confidence in our Department of Justice. Here's why. We keep seeing not only the weaponization of the Department of Justice against political opponents, but also against parents who show up at school board meetings. They're called, under this DOJ, they're called domestic terrorists.
Firing Christopher
but that's not, but that's not
shut down the FBI. Actually have the courage to get it right.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
Let me finish my comments.
Yes.
Not only that, in addition to that, we see the SWAT team show up at pro-life activist homes.
Oh
with
my
guns
God.
drawn,
We're going to
because
go over
this
that. One
DOJ
thing they
uses
didn't
their power,
lock
uses
in,
their
it was
authority,
fine.
not just
It
against
wasn't
political opponents, but against conservatives and conservative causes. It is time for a change in America, and I will bring that change to the greatest nation on God's green earth.
We have an
But
important
Governor
question still
DeSantis,
to
do you
answer.
believe that Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th?
So here's what we need to do. We need to end the weaponization of these
Oh,
federal
God.
agencies.
But that's
And
not
I
the
will do
question.
that.
That's not the question.
I know, but here's the
But
thing.
that's the one I was
This
going to
election
answer.
is not about January 6th of 2021. It's about January 20th of 2025, when the next president is going to take office. I know what the Democrats would like to do. They want to talk about all
don't
these other
know.
issues, but we've got to focus on your future. We've got to focus on reversing the decline of our country.
Right.
I learned in the military, I was assigned with U.S. Navy SEALs in Iraq,
Thanks,
that you
JP.
focus on the mission above all else. You can't get distracted. So
Wow,
Republicans,
liberal moms, that's
we've got to
such a
look
good question.
forward, and we've got to make
Person
sure
who's not
that we're
speaking
bringing the
is
message
the one
that can
who's
win in
Vice
November of
President Pence,
2024.
Did not answer the
I
question.
think
Vice
Asa
President
Hutchinson is
Pence,
probably going to walk
what
away
do
with
you
it.
think,
United
Vice
States is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I think the American people deserve to know whether everyone on this stage agrees that I kept my oath to the Constitution that day. There's no more important duty. So answer the question.
Thing. I've answered this before.
So yes.
Now, why are we? Mike did his duty. I got no beef with him. But here's the thing: is this what we're going to be focusing on
I'm relieved.
going forward? The rehashing of this. I'll tell you,
Governor
the
DeSantis,
Democrats would love that,
we
and they
spent-
will win if we
Governor
let them get
DeSantis,
away with it. I'm not
You're not wrong about that, but it's kind of dumb.
We're going to run him ragged around this country, and we're going to hold him accountable.
let me just say, Governor DeSantis,
And
we
you
spent
know
an
that
hour
this
talking
is
about
pooped or
policy.
not. Come on,
Former President Trump is beating you by 30, 40 points in many polls. So it is a factor in the GOP primary. Governor Hutchinson, you did not raise your hand.
I did not raise my hand because there's an important issue we as a party have to face.
Uh-oh.
And over a year ago, I said that Donald Trump was morally disqualified from being president again as a result of what happened on January 6th. More people are understanding the importance of that, including conservative legal scholars who says he may be disqualified under the 14th Amendment from being president again as a result of the insurrection.
I don't know what
This is
Seroquel is, but
something
it's
that
probably
could disqualify him under our rules and under the Constitution. And so obviously, I'm not going to support somebody who's been convicted of a serious felony or who is disqualified under our Constitution, and that's consistent with RNC rules.
Goodbye.
I hope everybody would agree with me.
Martha, can I answer the question?
Can I get in on that?
Okay, I'd like to answer.
You have already been in on it, Vice President Pence.
All right,
Hang
I'd like
on.
to answer the question you asked and not give a pre-canned speech. Mike Pence stood for the Constitution, and he deserves not grudging credit. He deserves our thanks as Americans for putting his oath of office and the Constitution of the United States before personal, political, and unfair pressure. And the argument that we need to have in this party before we can move on to the issues that Ron talked about is we have to dispense with the person who said that we need to suspend the Constitution
You guys
to
are
put forward
all
his
like
political
the most
career.
amazing.
Mike Pence said no, and he deserves credit for it.
Okay. Governor Haley, we haven't heard from you on this. Do you agree? Do you agree that Vice President Pence did the right thing that day or not?
I do think that Vice President Pence did the right thing. And I do think that we need to give him credit for that. But what I will also tell you is, look, I mean, when it comes to whether President Trump should serve or not, I trust the American people. Let them vote. Let them decide. But what they will tell you is that it is time for a new generational conservative leader. We have to look at the fact that
you shouldn't run.
of
Chrissy wants to be
don't want
AG
a rematch
again,
between
still?
Trump and Biden. And we have to face the fact that Trump is the most disliked politician in America. We can't win a general election that way.
Oops. Oh, right?
Happy to answer the question. Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th. but I want to say you started off the top of this hour saying we're going to talk about China.
I'm still
Ukraine,
waiting
education.
for my
We are.
Diet
China
Coke.
is the number one threat to our country, and every minute that these 8 candidates spend talking about the past instead about the future is time that is just the you know who loves it? Biden loves it, but China loves it when we're talking about the past.
Okay, as promised, we were going to spend a few questions on it, let people say what they
You
want
have
to
to
say.
get that sound
And now,
bite.
indeed,
Yes,
we are moving
exactly,
on to the
Al.
subject.
The U.S. has committed nearly 77.
Can I speak on this issue? I was.
No.
You answered on this.
You did say
answer.
something.
Yeah.
We thought you were done, but you
No, I
please.
wasn't done.
Oh my God.
Well, Mike, why don't you say this? Join me in
Hi,
making
Mac.
a commitment that on day one you would pardon Donald Trump. I'm the only candidate on the stage with the courage to actually say it.
No, he's the waiter,
Move our
man.
nation
He's the waiter.
forward
I don't know
and
why
turn the
you
page
assume that
forward. That's
Donald
exactly
Trump
right.
will be convicted of these crimes.
You should be able to make a commitment. The same justice system.
Oh
that was
my
this-
God.
The difference between you and me.
Yeah, I'm not a professional politician. That's the difference. Who can answer a question?
I've actually given pardons when I was governor of the state of Indiana. It usually follows a finding of guilt and contrition by the individual that's been convicted. So, look, if I'm president of the United States, we'll give fair consideration to any pardon request. But if I may, you know, it's not about looking back at January 2021.
You've already said
It's
this.
about January 20th, 2017. I put my left hand on Ronald Reagan's Bible. I raised my right hand.
2025.
And I took an oath
Right.
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And it ended with a prayer, so help me God. It was a promise that I made to the American people, but I also made it to my Heavenly Father. Every day for 4 years, I sought to keep that oath. And everyone on this stage needs to make it clear whether or not they'll do the same if they earn this job and the confidence of the American people. Now, look, I've made it clear. I had hoped that the issues surrounding the 2020 election and the controversies around January 6th had not come to this, had not come to criminal proceedings. I would rather they had been resolved by the American people and the American people alone. But no one's above the law. And President Trump is entitled to the presumption of innocence that every American is entitled to. And we will make sure and extend that to him. But the American people deserve to know that the president asked me in his request that I reject or return votes unilaterally, power that no vice president in American history had ever exercised or taken. He asked me to put him over the Constitution. And I chose the Constitution, and I always will. I had no right to overturn the election, and Kamala Harris will have no right to overturn the election when we beat them in 2024.
Thank you, Vice President Pence. Now we are moving on to other issues. The U.S. has committed nearly $77 billion in aid to the Ukraine war.
I know, Siegfried.
The administration is now asking Congress for $24 billion more.
He's not going to.
Regardless of that, the specifics
is
of that plan.
can.
Is there anyone on stage who would not support the increase of more funding to Ukraine?
We would
not support it.
Europe needs to step up. I mean, I would have Europe step up and do their job.
Oh, look at Vivek. Like, can I raise my hand any higher? Can I raise my hand higher?
Not to Governor DeSantis?
I will have Europe pull their weight. Right now, they're not doing that, and I think we need to do. And I think our support should be contingent on them doing it.
What's the hand?
I would have
What is the
support in China.
What is this
to
hand?
Be able to take China and do what we need to do with China.
What's
Mr.
with the
Ramaswamy,
hand?
You would not support an increase of funding to Ukraine.
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous, that we are protecting against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States of America. We are driving Russia further into China's hands. The Russia-China alliance is the single greatest threat we face. And I find it offensive that we have professional politicians on the stage that will make a pilgrimage to Kyiv, to their Pope, Zelensky, without doing the same thing.
Smart. You got to watch some of his podcasts. Oh my God. No, don't freeze.
People in Maui or the south side of Chicago or Kensington. I think that we have to put the interests of Americans first. Secure our own border instead of somebody else's.
You really do have to watch some of his podcasts
this
on
is also how we project strength
He's
and
terrible.
making America strong.
Really scary.
We heard the names. Governor
He
Christie.
doesn't know anything about foreign policy.
I did go to Ukraine, and I went to Ukraine because
I don't
wanted
know.
to see for myself
I don't know
what
who's
Vladimir Putin's
Oh, wait,
army
no. I think
was
Russia's
doing to the free Ukrainian people. And let me tell you,
I
I
don't
want you
know.
all to look
Peter
around this
Thiel?
arena tonight and imagine that every one of these seats was filled. And if every one of them was filled, there would still be 2,500 more children outside to make over 20,000 who have been abducted, stolen,
Oh
ripped
my
from their
God,
mothers
he's
and
Sound of
fathers,
Freedom
and brought back to Russia
this.
to be programmed to
He's
fight their
Sound
own
of
families.
Freedom
They have
this.
gouged out
He
people's
is
eyes, cut
fucking
off their
Sound
ears,
of Freedom
and
this.
shot people in the back of the head, men, and then gone into those homes and raped the daughters and the wives who
Oh
were
my
left
God.
as widows and orphans.
Oh my God.
This is the Vladimir Putin. This is the Vladimir Putin who Donald Trump called brilliant and a genius.
Oh
If we
my
don't stand up against this type of autocratic killing in the world, we will be next.
You were mentioned.
Governor Haley, we'll come back.
Vice President Pence was mentioned. You get 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, let me be clear. Anybody that thinks that we can't solve the problems here in the United States and be the leader of the free world has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth.
That is incorrect.
We can do both, Vivek. We've done both. We've been the leader of the free world and the arsenal of democracy for years.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the southern border. Oh, I'm so sorry.
To fight the communists on your soil, we'll give you the means to fight them there so our troops don't have to fight them. Vivek, if we do the giveaway that you want to give to Putin to give him his land, it's not going to be too long before he rolls across a NATO border. And frankly, our men and women of our armed forces are going to have to go and fight him. I want to let the Ukrainians fight and drive Putin and the Russians back out into Russia.
I want to just
So our
briefly
troops
address
aren't going to have to
Pence.
make that
Vice
fight.
President Pence. I have a news
Oh, hi, Dobby.
It fell back in
Welcome.
1990.
Did I say
The real
yes so
threat.
far?
You talked about the
Welcome,
communists. And the real
Dobby.
communists that we have to address right now
have
is
any
the
idea what
I let
Vladimir Putin's aims
you
are?
already spoke. Now I actually have something to say.
Vladimir Putin has been saying he wants to reestablish the old
So true.
Soviet sphere
You've made
of
your point,
influence.
Vice President.
Now,
Vice
if you
President
think-
Pence.
I'm sorry if I insulted him by calling him a communist. He is a dictator and a murderer. And the United States of America needs to stand against authoritarianism.
Mr. Ramaswamy, 30
Briefly
seconds.
respond. The real threat we face today is communist China. And we are driving Russia further into China's arms. The Russia-China
I guess that
military alliance
Chinese
is the single
CCP
greatest
money
threat we
check
face.
didn't
Nobody in either
it
political
bounce.
party's talking about it. And I am
to
the
it.
only non-neocon on this stage who will keep us out of war.
Mr. Vice President, we can't hear. Mr. Vice President,
to give Russia
Mr. Vice
every
Look how tiny everybody's
Vice
hands
President.
are.
give them a promise that Ukraine will never be in NATO, and then somehow
Mr. Vice President.
China will not
Well, Bannon, right.
think about
No,
taking
that's our-
Taiwan. We achieve peace through strength.
Mr. Vice
And America
President.
needs to stand for freedom.
Okay, here we go.
I think we need to establish
Where
the
is
ground
Bill?
rules here,
When we
folks.
hear this bell,
Yes.
that means your time's
We're
done.
done.
So, Mr. Vice President, we appreciate
Woo!
your aggressiveness here. 30 seconds is 30 seconds.
I
Mr.
thought Bannon
Ramaswamy,
was
you were
into
mentioned. You
RFA.
get 30
I guess he's into
The
anybody.
reality is,
Anybody that
today,
ruins it.
today, Ukraine is not a priority for the United States of America. And I think that the same people who took us into the Iraq War, the same people who took us into the Vietnam War, you cannot start another no-win war. And I do not want to get to the point where we're sending our military resources abroad when we could be better using them here at home to protect
We
our own
definitely
borders,
have to ban it.
protect the
That's for
homeland.
All right.
That
That's
will be
not
my
like
top
the-
priority.
there's
for
a lot of
policy.
them.
We gave you
Bomb
more
Mexico,
than the 30
homeland.
seconds in the rebut. So I do want to get to some other people because everybody.
I don't know why.
we respect.
Pepper, I don't
everybody's
know
time
why
here.
he
So,
thinks
Governor
Pence
Haley,
is such a
you did not raise your hand,
threat.
meaning that you would support more funding for the Ukraine war. You have said of Governor DeSantis that you didn't appreciate it when he initially called it a territorial dispute. Why?
First of all, the American president needs to have moral clarity. They need to know the difference between right and wrong. They need to know the difference between good and evil.
Right.
When you look at the situation with Russia and Ukraine, here you have a pro-American country that was invaded by a thug. So when you want to talk about what has been given to Ukraine, less than 3.5% of our defense budget has been given to Ukraine. If you look at the percentages per
What?
GDP, 11 of the European countries have given more than the US. But what's really important is go back to when China and Russia shook hands before the Olympics and named themselves unlimited partners.
Yeah, I
A
can see
win
banning
for
backing a
Russia is
number
a
of
win
horses
for
if
China. We have to know that Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends. What you do instead is you have the backs of your friends. Ukraine is the front line of defense. Putin has said, once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
Wow.
First of all, Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 30 seconds. Mr. DeSantis,
Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
I'm
The fact of the matter,
and
Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie
all
all week,
You want
Nikki.
to go and defund Israel? You want to
Okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
Your watch,
So the
you will
reality
make
is,
America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
and you know what?
Yes, it does show.
You all have shows in the pointless wars we've gotten into. So our relationship with Israel will never be stronger than by the end of my first term.
It's not true. You can't just say that. You motherfucker. It's not the way it works.
And you know what friends do? Friends help each other stand on their own 2 feet. So I will lead Abraham Accords 2.0. I will partner with Israel to make sure Iran never is nuclear armed. But you know what I love about Israel? And I've been there probably in the last 10 years more than most people on this stage. You know what I love about them?
Did he say
I
that?
love their border policies.
Did he say
I love
that,
their
man?
tough on crime policies. I love that they have a national identity and an iron dome to protect their homeland. And so, yes, I want to learn from the friends that we're supporting. And what puzzles me is, I want to learn from those and apply those to protect our homeland, Nikki.
Israel
that is the
needs
answer.
America needs Israel.
Okay, Governor DeSantis, you were mentioned in the territorial dispute. Not only
no, it's not a territorial dispute
President
either.
of the United States, your first obligation is to defend our country and its people.
He really has his eyes. Oh,
you're
bye,
sending
Michael.
all this money,
See you
but you're
later.
not doing what we need to do to secure
happening.
our own border. We have tens of thousands of people who are being killed because we're not handling both. And so I am going to declare it a national emergency. I'm not going to send troops to Ukraine, but I am going to send them to our southern border. When these drug pushers are bringing fentanyl across the border, that's going to be the last thing they do. We're going to use force, and we're going to leave them stone cold dead.
we're actually going to move on to China. We're going to talk about China.
Okay.
Governor Burgum. China has the biggest navy in the world, the biggest
Governor
army in
Burgum,
the world.
I still
Now they
don't have my
warships,
Diet Coke.
warships off the coast of Alaska that are threatening Taiwan.
Ugh.
In coming years, China will have 1,500 nuclear warheads, it's believed. The U.S. just arrested 2 sailors accused of spying for China within our military. So the question is, how would you deter China as a president, Burgum?
Well, this is the number one issue we're facing. And of course, we haven't been talking about it. And we act like that letting Russia win in the Ukraine is like a gimme as opposed to a gift to China. Russia has become China's gas station. But how would we do it? The Biden administration is a complete fail. China imports 10 million barrels of oil a day, more than any other country in the world. They do not even have all the food they need to feed everybody in that country. So they don't have energy security or food security. But the Biden administration sends Blinken, Yellen over there. They're over there talking. They don't even bring up energy because they're too busy trying to kill the U.S. energy here. And what we need to do is not meetings, not press releases, because something that would send a lot more than a press release is actually Harpoon missiles. We need anti-ship missiles on Taiwan. The way that you have a war never start, which is the goal, the way you have peace through strength is that you actually have strength. You actually have deterrence. And what we have in what we've got going on in Ukraine is an example of when deterrents fail. What is an example there of Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the fact that he greenlighted Putin moving into Ukraine, and then now they see weakness, and when they see weakness, they make a move. And we have to be strong, and we have to be strong both in Ukraine, and we can solve the southern border. Absolutely, we can do that, because guess what? There's only 19,855 authorized people for the Border Patrol, but they're not all staff because the Biden administration doesn't enforce law enforcement. But Biden administration wanted to put 87,000 people in the IRS as opposed to giving the money and the support we need to our own Border Patrol.
Oh, great.
Senator Scott, on China, that same question.
Let's fire the 87,000 IRS agents and hire.
He's the governor of North
Border
Dakota.
Patrol agents. I just left Yuma, Arizona, about 2 weeks ago.
He
The
wants
most pressing
he's
need
the
of the
governor of,
American people from a national
Arizona.
security standpoint
North
is our
Dakota, which
southern
rhymes with
border. It
Arizona.
has led to the death of 70,000 Americans because of fentanyl. Plus 6 million illegal crossings since President Biden has taken office, and 200 people on our national security watch list have been caught at our border. How many have not been caught at our southern border? If we just spend $10 billion, we could finish the wall.
Tim is doing
For $5
terribly.
billion
I'll
more,
agree.
we could have
He's
the
just not
military-grade technology to surveil our southern border to stop the flow
blowing
of
chunks
fentanyl
right now.
and save 70,000
That's his
Americans
voice.
a
I
year.
hate Tim. I'm
That
so
should
mad
be
at him. He's
the
although
priority
you,
of
Nikki,
this
are smartest.
government. And as the next president of the United States, I will make that border wall
I don't know.
complete.
There are many more
I
questions on
Can't
China.
they
I do
just
wanna
pronounce the
ask-
Y in
I want to
fentanyl?
say I couldn't agree more. It's not just the 70,000 from fentanyl. We've
Fentanyl.
lost 200,000 people to overdoses since Biden took office.
Dukakis
That's
Club.
300 people a day. We're taking mass casualties, and that's a statistic, but these are sons and daughters, nieces and nephews that we're losing. We've got North Dakota troops down there flying night helicopter missions from San Diego to the Gulf Coast, trying to stop these transnational criminal organizations. They've got better funding on their side than we've got on our side.
Speaking of which, Governor Hutchinson, images from earlier this month, Governor Hutchinson,
with Mexico,
Vice President Pence,
policy.
images from
Yeah,
earlier
all
this
of
month.
us.
We secure the southern
Vice
border.
President Pence, it really doesn't help. I'm asking
Fentanyl
a
for the
question.
rest of us.
Earlier this month, images showed suspected cartel members crossing into Texas with rifles. Do you consider this
I got a new pen
an
today.
invasion?
Ooh, it's very. Ooh,
Would
it
you authorize lethal
buzzes,
force
vibrates.
along that border?
Yikes.
There would be lethal force used by the Border Patrol, law enforcement as needed to protect the border. Absolutely. When you look at the military has to be used for intelligence gathering purposes. This is not unusual. Whenever I was in the Bush administration, we went down there and met with President Vicente Fox of Mexico and asked his help in going after the cartels.
But then,
And he looked at me and said, they're a problem to us as well. And so we joined together and we took down the Ariana Felix brothers leading the Tijuana cartel. And that made a difference. Ramon was shot and killed and Ben Amin was captured. Cooperation makes a difference. We cannot be successful going against the cartel unless we bring in Mexico as a partner. We have to use economic pressure to accomplish that. President Obrador has not been helpful, and we have to use economic pressure that this administration is not using. The rule of law has to matter on both sides.
Really,
of it.
again, I put
This
this guy in
is
the Kissinger
critical.
column. I
I've
thought
done
he
it.
was.
We
I
know
thought
what
he was
needs to be done.
dead.
The military has to be limited in its use.
Fentanyl.
After 9/11, we had the global war on terror. And guess what? We protected the border at the same time. You can do both.
Okay, let's go to Governor DeSantis. So as president, would you support sending U.S. Special Forces over the border into Mexico
Oh God,
to take
here we
out
go.
fentanyl labs, to take out drug cartel operations? Would you support that kind of American
I
military
would not be shocked.
use?
Yes, and I will do it on day one. Here's the thing. The cartels are killing tens of thousands of our fellow citizens. You want to talk about a country in decline? You have the cartels controlling a lot of part of your southern border. We have to reestablish the rule of law, and we have to defend our people.
Yes.
The President of the United States has got to use all available powers as commander-in-chief to protect our country and to protect the people. So when they're coming across, yes, we're going to use lethal force. Yes, we reserve the right to operate. How many more tens of thousands are we going to let to die? I am sick. I've met angel moms throughout this country. I met a lady in Texas named Tracy, and her son took one Percocet that was laced with fentanyl, immediately died. That is happening all across this country because of the poison that they are bringing in. So as president, would I use force? Would I treat them as foreign terrorist organizations? You're darn right I would.
You know, Vice President Pence,
Well,
Vice President Pence, why would you be better at this issue than Governor DeSantis? Governor DeSantis on the campaign trail refers to your administration as not finishing the wall.
Right. Look, we secured the southern border of the United States of America and reduced illegal immigration and asylum abuse by 90%. When Joe Biden took over, he threw open the southern border of the United States, and the wave of humanity, the wave of fentanyl, it's been eloquently described here is a wave of human tragedy across this country. But Martha, you began this evening talking about who is best prepared to be the next president of the United States. And I have to tell you, with all humility, I was there when we negotiated through the government shutdown and got the funding available.
Oh, were you there when they negotiated
I was negotiating on Capitol Hill around the clock. I negotiated the Remain in Mexico policy on behalf of the President of the United States. And Asa, you're so right. It's because we used economic pressure to bring the Mexicans to the table, and they allowed us to have people wait in Mexico while they applied for asylum and ended asylum abuse overnight. We got the Mexicans to deploy their National Guard to their southern border and to our southern border as never before. And I want to promise you, as President of the United States of America, I will engage Mexico the exact same way, and we will partner with the Mexican military, and we will hunt down and destroy the cartels that are claiming lives in the United States of America.
Another issue that is related to this is that almost 7 million migrants have crossed this border, our southern border, during the Biden administration. So, Governor Christie, what would you do about the 7 million who are here? How would you handle them? What would you do?
Yes.
Martha, the
And
first
that's
thing we need to do is to stop any more from coming. That's the first thing we need to do. Then the next thing we need to do with the folks that are here is to, again, as we've talked about all night tonight, we have to have law and order in this country. We have to enforce the law. And what that means is to make sure that people who come here illegally are not rewarded for being here illegally. We have so many wonderful people from around the world who are waiting in line, following the law to try to come here and pursue the American dream. And those people are waiting and waiting and waiting because we haven't dealt with the problem of the folks who are here. We have to have them detained. We have to make sure that they are not rewarded for having broken the law. And one last thing on this fentanyl issue. With China, we can't take our eye off of that ball. Right. Yes, it's important that we secure the border. Very important, as I just said. But China is sending these chemicals to these drug cartels for them to create the fentanyl that is killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens. The Chinese are engaging in an act of war against us, killing our citizens. We better make that priority one in our conversations with China and to try to straighten that relationship out, because if we don't, we're going to lose more and more of our citizens.
I just want to clarify, would you send those people back?
Of course. You'd have to.
We have a lot of issues that Americans care about. Next up, we're going to talk about the crisis in education, as millions of American children are not proficient in reading or math.
Do you trust our government and where the economy is headed?
Oh, la 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 la. What's this? Naloxone, hands-on reverses opioid. Naloxone works by blocking the effects of it. Oh, Fentanyl. Fuck each of the debaters. That's right. That's right. Fuck each of the debaters. I'm getting hungry for coffee. I'd like some coffee, please. Nope, you got to eat this gold first. And then when I become the president of the country, everybody will like me, and I'll get free donuts, 'cause presidents get free donuts. Yeah. Yes. Do. Guess what? It is working. Bitches. That's not true. It's your dumb, stupid disinformation. Oh. Banning gold is just those gold coins. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did. Take it all, bitches. Take it all up your stupid butts. Biden did it. Biden did it. I'm Russell Brand, and I'm a big prick. And I'm not a very good actor, so I had to become a real right-wing nut so that I could get a show on this stupid network that just lets me be stupid. Yes, you're such a bear. I'm so stupid, and my movies aren't funny. My movies aren't funny. No, my movies aren't funny. I'm gonna jump out of this plane. Fuck it. I'm gonna drink this fucking coffee, and I'm gonna jump out of this motherfucking. What? I'm gonna kill people and pretend it's coffee. I'm gonna yeah, love on an elevator, pushing it up when I'm going down. Elevator. Who do you think is winning the debate? Don't text your answer anywhere. They're gonna take your phone number. Russell was yelling, "I'm really a bad actor." In my movies, I cheat. You were right. You were right, Pepper. This guy's grandchildren have disowned him because of this. I just want you to know that. He should have stuck with meditation, yoga, and his comedy. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Russell is selling nipple pasties? Really? Oh. More gold. You gotta buy this gold. I wonder how many people buy that. I wonder like what their sales are. Oh, we gotta go in and say no, we don't like this rumble. We gotta give it a thumbs down. We can do that. Yep. Oh, whoa. Should we make a comment? Maybe we should make a comment. This is the most boring bullshit I've seen in a long time, and these morons couldn't run a hot dog stand. Biden. Oops. Hold on, I'm coming back. Hold on. Harris. 2024. There we go. Then we'll check it later on because I'll be sure to get a lot of horrible comments on it. So don't worry.
As we see it.
I'm very absolutely. The decline in education is one of the major reasons why our country is in decline. We need education in this country, not indoctrination in this country. And in Florida, we stood up for what was right. First, we had schools open during COVID, and a lot of the problems that we've seen are because these lockdown states lock their kids out of school for a year and a half. That was wrong. We stood up. I took a lot of fire for that. I was pilloried by the media, but I stood for our kids. And as president, I'll stand for you and your kids as well. But we have to make sure that what our schools are doing is focusing on solid academics. In Florida, we eliminated critical race theory from our K-12 schools. We eliminated
Don't
gender
just
ideology from our
eliminated
K through
all
12
the
schools.
people.
And we have elevated the importance of American civics and teaching our kids about
We
the
have a Q
Constitution
guy running
and
our
the Bill of
medical
Rights.
systems.
As president, I'm going to lead an effort to increase civic understanding and knowledge of our Constitution. We cannot be graduating
you should
students
learn
that
it.
don't have
Why don't
any
you start with
foundation in
yourself?
what it means to be an American.
Right?
Mr. Ramaswamy, Mr. Ramaswamy, Mr. Pett. Mr. Ramaswamy, hold on,
Vivek
Senator
wrote
Scott.
the book Wolf
You've
Meat,
said
so
that
all
the Department of
indivisible.
Education, the FBI, the ATF, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the IRS, the Department of Commerce, many of these should not exist.
That's correct.
Oh,
So,
God, here
to
we
the
go.
education
Great,
question,
too. I've been
how
listening
would you
to
deal
this
with
guy
the
for
crisis?
So look, we have a crisis of achievement. Let's shut down the head of the snake, the Department of Education. Take that $80 billion, put it in the hands of parents across this country. This is the civil rights issue of our time. Allow any parent to choose where they send their kids to school. End the teachers' unions at the local level to allow public schools to compete. And then revive our national identity where every high school senior should have to pass the same civics test that frankly every immigrant, including my mother, had to pass in order to become a citizen of this country. And the fact of the matter is, look, there's a part of education policy that also rests with the family. I didn't grow up in money, but you know the word privilege gets used a lot. Well, you know what? I did have the ultimate privilege of two parents in the house with a focus on educational achievement. And I want every kid to enjoy that. So part of the problem is we also have a federal government that pays single women more not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house, contributing to an epidemic of fatherlessness. And I think that goes hand in glove with the education crisis as well, because we have to remember education starts with the family, and the nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to mankind.
Excuse me? Have you met some of these families?
Governor Haley has said that biological boys playing in girls' sports is the women's issue of our time. You said that even though you signed a ban on this in North Dakota, that there hadn't been one instance where
At any amount, J. Rance?
Are you saying that you think that too much is made of this issue?
No, I'm saying in North Dakota, we made a priority of protecting women's sports, and we've done that in our state. But I would absolutely do that. But I do think when we start talking about education and we think that we're going to have a federal government, one size fits all, we're just completely losing track of the fact that education differs by state. Some school districts are doing a fantastic job, some less so. But the idea that every school district, state, and every teacher is somehow indoctrinating people is just false. You know, when I was building a company from scratch, you know, with small town kids, and we went, you know, grew up in a town of 300, but we built a global company in 132 countries with over 100,000 customers. We listened to those customers. We spent time with them. We talked to them.
Remember when you're pointing your finger, 3 fingers are pointing back
education is one of the biggest part of a state budget. So as a governor, I shadow a student. I don't, the night before I find out the student finds out, I'm going to go to every class with them. I don't sit and lecture school districts how to do it. I go and see the experience. And there's a lot of things that have to change, but what needs to change in education is it's innovation. We're doing it the same way we did it 50 years ago with innovation, not regulation. I would get rid of the Department of Education. I would give block grants to schools, but I'd give them on merit based on who's doing the most innovative. I just got done holding the 7th annual Governor's Conference on Innovation Education. You should see what the people are doing when you cut loose the red tape, get the burden off their back. They care. Teachers in this country, the vast majority of them care about those kids. They're working in
vast majority,
and they're fighting for those kids and their families.
Governor Haley, you said that this is the women's issue of our time.
First, I'll tell you, as you know, as a parent, the one thing you want is for your child to have a better life than you did. And we can talk about all of these things, and there's a lot of crazy woke things happening in schools, but we've got to get these kids reading. If a child can't read by 3rd grade, they're 4 times less likely to graduate high school. So we need to make sure we bring in reading remediation all over this country. We need transparency in the classroom because parents should never have to wonder what's being said or taught to their children in the classroom. Parents need to be deciding which schools their kids go to because they know best. And let's put vocational classes back into the high schools. Let's teach our kids to build things again. When we do that and we allow that innovation, that's when
Yes,
it'll get
yes,
back. And yes, I
yes,
will always say
right.
I'm going to fight for girls all day long.
I
because
hope we have to
strong
go
girls
to
become
school.
strong women. Strong women become strong leaders. And biological boys don't belong in the locker rooms of any of our girls.
Another point on education.
Oh, I would hate being Nikki's
And
kid.
the first question is going to go to you, Vice President. So this is a lightning round
Sorry.
of
Those
questions.
ice cream
30-second
guys here.
answers, please.
Nikki started.
President Biden will be 82 years old on Inauguration Day. Nearly
Yeah,
70%
well,
of Americans
he's
say
still
that
going to
he
be
is too
smarter
old
than any
to
of these
serve.
morons.
Should presidents have to pass a mental and physical test in order to serve Vice President Pence?
Well, it might be a good idea to have everybody in Washington, D.C. pass a mental and
Whoa! All right. All right,
30 seconds.
girl.
No, the American
Enjoy
people
that.
can make those judgments. But let me say, I'm running for president of the United States because we don't need a president who's too old, and we don't need a president who's too young. We need a president who's been there. We need a president who knows how Congress works, how the White House works, how states work. And on this education issue, Martha, I was fighting against No Child Left Behind when Republicans were doubling the Department of Education. I'll also shut down the federal Department of Education. And when I was governor, we doubled the size of the largest school choice program in America, and we'll give school choice to every family in America when I'm in the White House.
This is a lightning round, Mr. Ramaswamy. I think you were mentioned there. You're 38. You're the youngest on the stage. You've said, and you just said, you want a civics test or public service for those under 25 to be able to vote. So the question is, do you want a mental acuity test for presidents over 75?
I believe in the people of this country to tell the difference between somebody who's an automaton and somebody who's actually a thinking agent in the White House, which we don't have in there today. And I will tell you, I want to address Vice President Pence's comment. I think we do need somebody of a different generation to lead this nation forward. Look at the way I've run this campaign. Going to the south side of Chicago, to Kensington, in the middle of Philadelphia, where traditional Republican candidates don't go.
This is the only thing I've
We have an
got
opportunity
going
to
for
build a
me,
multi-ethnic,
people.
working-class
Don't let
majority
it
to deliver
happen
a
to
landslide.
you.
And I think I'm the only candidate in this race, young or old, black or white, to bring all of those voters along to deliver a Reagan 1980 revolution. We're going to do it in 2024.
Same question.
How come you never voted in a presidential election until 2020?
I will answer that. I will
30
answer that.
seconds. 30 seconds.
30 second quick answer.
You guys need to get control of this.
Everybody's going to get
Listen, we're getting control of the debate. This is a lightning round, not rolling thunder. Governor Hutchinson, you have 30 seconds on the same question.
On education, first of all, look at Arkansas. We have to compete with China. I built computer science education. We led the nation in computer science education, going from 1,100 students to 23,000 students taking it. This is how you compete with China. As President of the United States, I will make sure we go from 51% of our schools offering computer science to every school in rural areas and urban areas offering computer science for the benefit of our kids, and we can compete with China in terms of technology.
This is coming to you.
Never gets old.
We're trying to do a quick round of different topics here. So, Senator Scott, faith is on decline in this country. You talked about it a little bit before tonight. So, is there a role for a president?
It's time for your bathroom break, everybody. Just go to your bathroom break now.
Well, our nation was founded upon the
Just
Judeo-Christian values that has made this the greatest nation on God's green earth. I'm a big believer in Ephesians 3:20 that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or imagine. Our responsibility should be to model the behavior we want others to follow. On education, the only way we change education in this nation is to break the backs of the teachers' unions. They are standing in the doorhouse of our kids, locking them into failing schools and locking them out of the greatest future they could have.
As President Governor DeSantis, would you support some mandatory military service for all Americans?
I think it should be voluntary. I'm somebody that volunteered to serve, inspired by September 11th, and I deployed to Iraq alongside U.S. Navy SEALs in places like Fallujah, Ramadi, and it's something that I think has taught me, you know, when you go in that type of environment, anything you have, your personal agenda, you check it at the door. You go there, and it's about focusing on the mission above all else. And guys come together, and they get it done. And that's how I would view being the president of the United States. It's not about me. It's not about all these other side issues. My sole focus will be on your future and reversing this country's decline.
Okay, now for something a little out of this world, and this is for you, Governor Christie. Do you believe that the recent spike in UFO encounters?
Oh my God!
I get the UFO question.
Yeah, you do.
Come on, man.
No, but okay, we've been hearing a lot of testimony in Congress, and people are taking this a lot more seriously. And we're hearing that there are things going on that people aren't aware of. So, if you were president, Governor Christie, would you level with the American people about what the government knows about these possible
Look,
encounters?
Martha, and especially coming from a woman from New Jersey, I think it's horrible that just because I'm from New Jersey, you asked me about unidentified flying objects and Martians. We're different, but we're not that different. Look, of course, the job of the President of the United States is to level with the American people about everything. The job of the President of the United States is to stand for truth. The job of the President of the United States is to be a role model for our children and our grandchildren. And so whether it was UFOs or this problem of education, and Tim's right, by the way, and I started this in 2010 by going right after the teachers' unions in New Jersey and drove them down to an all-time low popularity rating because they were putting themselves before our kids. That is the biggest threat to our country, not UFOs.
Okay. Well, coming up, we've got closing arguments plus right after the debate.
Oh, good
Kennedy
one.
is live from the spin room right here in the Fiserv Forum.
No, look at him. He's a big fat dick. Yeah, hey, you're a big fat dick. And we're coming back to see all of the people who might be president, but they are not gonna win. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win because we're voting Biden and Harris in 2024. November 8th. Is it November 8th? I think it's November 8th, right? On November 8th, 2024, we're gonna re-elect the president. And then he's gonna do things like give us single-payer health care and voting rights and back our bodily autonomy. Yeah. Tupelo, DeSantis supervised prisoner force feeding at Gitmo. Yep, 4 times a day versus nasogastric tube. Inmates were strapped to wooden chairs to arms, wrists. Fuck. This guy is so fucking horrid. Horrid. How's my comment doing? Wait, now I can't remember. Oh, yeah, let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just didn't even remember what you were talking about, J-Rats. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Come on now, people. Oh, I don't want to refresh. That's my thing. Sort by likes. Oh, here we go. Sort by newest. Here we go. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Vivek 2024, not exactly an exciting the debate I was expecting. Don't bring up climate change or UFOs in any future debates. Keep the focus on issues of real substance. Pence is another Carter. Good man, very bad president. MAGA. But we need to protect teachers from kids also. This might sound ignorant, but teachers do not have the money for lawyers to defend them when a kid goes to attack them. Admin definitely can't do it either. Of course, Christie would avoid the UFO question. Lots of good energy. Okay, wait. Oh, come on. You guys are a little too active. Okay, this is the thing. Rumble has like the world's worst interaction. Hold on, we're coming. Sam's having a moment. He keeps putting up shit. Oh, maybe there's more than one. Okay, hold on. Wait. Oh my fucking God. I swear to God, Rumble, you suck. You can't know. You can't just go to your comment. It's amazing. I know. Well, there you go. 12 minutes ago. I'm never going to know what my fucking comment said. Oh, wait. I guess I can go to who do you think is winning the debate? What? Okay, well, that's not helpful to me. All right. Damn it. Okay, wait. Let me find it. I'm going to pull it up on another screen. I know what to do. I'm smarter than I thought. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Turn off your. Okay, wait. Oops, no. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me find my comment. I wonder if I can find my. Rumble, you fucking suck. How about that? How about that? Oh my. I'll only know when someone comments on it and tells me to go fuck myself. Which is coming. Don't worry. It's coming. I'm going to be told to go fuck myself. Oh, hi Adriana. I like this voice. Tactic Squatch. Tactic Squatch. Who said Tactic Squatch? If you want to be depressed, watch Rumble. It'll depress you. Has Pence's house flight? No, Tupelo, we've been waiting. Really? This is scary to me. I don't think I get twilight sedation though. Oops. Yeah, you're right. One of the coffees is called Tactic Squatch. That doesn't really roll right off the time. Jesus fucking Christ. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
American voters, why you are the person who can inspire this nation to a better day. These are 45 seconds, and we begin with Governor Burgum.
I understand why America's hurting. Biden's inflation is choking us. I grew up in a small town. My dad died when I was a freshman in high school. My mom, widow of 3, went back to work. Every job I had growing up was one where I took a shower at the end of the day, not at the beginning of the day.
Ooh. Well,
our cities are less safe because of the fentanyl pouring into this country. Our economy is being crushed by Biden's energy policies, which are raising the cost of every product you buy, not just the gasoline at the pump. One thing that I'll do as president, I'll secure the border. I'll get this economy sprinting, not crawling like it is right now. And I would say that other thing is for sure, when I'm on a horseback in the Badlands of North Dakota, it looks like the horizon is just limitless. And when you can almost see beyond that horizon, you can see that this great country, our future is unlimited. But we've got to focus on innovation, not regulation. We've got to cut the red tape. We've got to drive ourselves forward. The way we win the Cold War with China is by growing our economy through innovation.
Hey, shut up.
President,
eyebrows.
I will
shut your
bring out the
fucking
best
pie
of
hole.
America. I will improve every American life.
Well, we hope you're back on your horse soon, Governor.
Shut your pie hole.
Our nation is in trouble, and it's in trouble because of failed leadership. And the solution is not 4 more years of Joseph Biden.
Sleep.
The solution is not 4 more years of Donald Trump. The solution is new leadership that can bring bold ideas to America and to bring out the best of America. A president's number one responsibility is to bring out the best of our people. That's what Ronald Reagan did. And he did it with optimism and hope for our country, with a consistent conservatism. That's exactly what I bring. As president, I'll bring out the best of America in terms of individual responsibility.
Yes, we hope you're back on your horse soon, because you're certainly not on your horse now.
In terms of securing our border,
based on
enforcing the rule of law. I'll bring out the best of America in terms of our national character, our faith,
major donor.
and our hope for the future. Join in this fight. ASA2024.
No, bye.
Thank you, Senator Scott.
Lisa, next.
Thank you. I was a disillusioned young man growing up in a single-parent household, mired in poverty. I wondered if the American dream was real for a kid like me. I can stand before you today and say the dream is
It is not
alive,
real.
it is
The
well,
American
and it
dream
is
is
healthy.
nothing.
I had the good
It's
fortune of a
not
mom who worked 16-hour days, making sure we had food on our tables. She taught me that if you're able-bodied in America, you work. If you take out a loan,
Why'd
you
your
pay
mom
it
have to
back.
work
You
that hard?
commit a
That's
violent crime,
terrible.
you go to jail. And if God made you a man, you play sports against men. I'm Tim Scott.
Wow.
I'm asking you for your
Tim
vote.
Scott
And if you're
and
in Iowa,
I'm a
I'm asking you to caucus for me. You can go to
I'm a
votetimscott.com for more information or to make a contribution.
Governor Christie.
That's terrible. Tim Scott is a
Brett. Thank you,
transphobe.
Martha.
Fuck
Look,
you, Tim
everybody
Scott.
on this
That's
stage wants
terrible.
to be the next president of the United States.
Ugh.
And the only way
Bigot.
that's going to happen
Bigot,
is
bigot,
if we beat
bigot.
Joe Biden. I'm the only one on this stage who's ever beaten a Democratic incumbent in an election. I did it in a
Who?
deep blue state,
Where?
being outspent 3-1.
But didn't you also
Beating
get
a
beaten?
Democratic
I
incumbent
don't
is not
need
easy. The last Democratic incumbent
I don't
president
need
who was defeated was Jimmy Carter. And he was
Listen,
defeated
freak
by a
out.
conservative governor from a blue state
Oh, just
who knew how
you,
to get
you
results,
didn't
who
lose
stood
the
for the
last 2
truth,
hours of your life,
who cared about accountability,
depending on how
and
much time
stood
you
strong
left.
and hard against waste.
So no.
Those are the very things that I did in my 8
Yeah,
years
we
as
have been
governor of
left.
New Jersey. And it's exactly what I'll
Right?
do
What
as president of the
happened?
United States. Believe me,
Happened to
the
Jeff?
Democrats want some other nominee who's never beaten a Democratic
Oh
incumbent.
my God!
I'm
You
the
know
one who
what,
can win
Chris
this race.
Christie,
If you give
bring
me
it
the
on,
chance,
bitch.
I will
We'll
restore our
take
country by
you
winning it.
anytime,
Thank you,
any
Governor
day.
Haley.
Oh, and you have your first vote.
Several weeks ago, I dropped
This
my
is
husband,
great.
Michael, a combat veteran from Afghanistan, off at 4 a.m. for another year-long deployment. I watched him and 230 soldiers pick up their 2 duffel bags of belongings to go to a country they had never been, all in the name of protecting America. If they are willing to protect us from there,
Nikki, did you
we
do
should be
anything
willing to
about
fight for
the
America here.
Afghanistan
I
issue?
will beat Joe Biden,
Did you
and he
do
knows
anything
that.
about that?
I
No.
will strengthen our
You're not
economy,
gonna
and we'll
do
bring
it,
this
buddy.
inflation down.
So
We will
boring.
put transparency in the
You're so
classroom. We
boring.
will secure our borders. We will have the backs of our law enforcement, and we will make sure we have a strong national security. And once again, we will make sure we have an America that is strong and proud. We have a country to save. Join us. Go to NikkiHaley.com and let's get it done.
Vice President Pence.
Wow. Martha likes her.
Thank you, Brad and Martha. for this
Like your
evening.
bread
It's an
and
honor to be
Martha.
here.
Oh,
Joe Biden
Paulina,
has
thank
weakened America at
you.
home and abroad.
Thank you,
The
Paulina.
disastrous withdrawal from
Thank you,
Afghanistan,
Paulina. I
the
figured out how
war
to
on
do it.
energy,
Sorry. You need to figure out how to
runaway
do it for
spending that
everybody.
launched the
Actually,
worst
wait.
inflation in 40 years, a crisis at our southern
Jen,
border, an assault
hey.
on our values and
Thank
liberties,
you.
and the American people have had enough. But I know we can bring it back.
This looks like she's on
But
something.
different times call for different leadership.
You are so
The
right.
Republican Party owes the American people a
Totally
choice.
looks. Oh,
Proven
stop, Paulina. You're
leadership
such a kind.
at the
Oh,
national level that knows how to move a conservative agenda forward. We proved in the Trump-Pence years you can turn this country around faster.
you get
than
money
can
back
imagine.
guarantee.
And I have faith we will again, because I have faith in the American people, the good, decent, hardworking, faith-filled, idealistic people of this country. And I have faith that God is not done with America yet. And if we will renew our faith in one another and renew our faith in Him, who has ever guided this nation since we arrived.
Did
on
he
these
guide
southern
you
shores.
when you were
I
still
know the best days for the
questioning
greatest
about
nation
whether or
on
not
earth
you
are
could
yet to
overturn
come.
the election? Was he
Mr.
guiding you then? Why'd you have to
I was
talk to so
born in
many humans?
1985, and I grew up into a generation where we were
Jeff,
taught
of course.
to celebrate our diversity and
Jeff's a
our
lying
differences so
sack of
much
shit
that we
who
forgot
has a
all of the
YouTube
ways
channel.
we are really just the same as Americans, bound by a common set of ideals
I'll get
that
into
set
him
this
later.
nation into motion in
Oh,
1776.
J-Rand, stop.
And this is our moment to revive those common ideals. God is real. There are two genders.
God is not
Fossil fuels are a
real.
requirement
Gender is
for
a
human prosperity.
construct.
Reverse
Gender
racism is racism.
is a
An open
construct.
border
There
is not
is
a border.
systemic
Parents
racism.
determine the education of their
Freedom.
children.
We
The
must
nuclear family is the greatest form of governance
We must
known to man. Capitalism lifts us up from
No, it
poverty.
doesn't.
There are three branches
Capitalism
of
is
government, not four. And the
D-U-M.
U.S. Constitution, it is the strongest guarantor of freedom in human history. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what will win us the revolution of 2024. Thanks for letting me introduce myself tonight. Thank you.
Governor DeSantis.
I'm Ron DeSantis.
This is our time for choosing. We will send Joe Biden back to his basement,
I
and
wish
we will
I had,
reverse the decline of this country.
I wish
I'm
I
a blue-collar
had,
kid. I work minimum wage jobs to be able to
like
make
a voice
ends meet.
changer.
I understand the importance of the American dream, and I know how that's slipped away from so many millions of Americans. We'll restore it. I'm a veteran who served in Iraq. I know what it means to put service above self.
Hey, Nathan,
I'm also a dad
how are
and a
you
husband for
doing?
6'5" and 3-year-old. I
doing?
understand the importance of protecting parents' rights and the well-being of our children. In Florida, we showed it could be done. I made promises and I delivered on all of those promises. 2024 is make or break. We're not
Hi,
getting a
Michael.
mulligan.
I hope you're
No
doing
excuses. I will get the job done. And as your president,
good.
I
Thank
will
you
not
for
let you
asking.
down.
Good to
God
see
bless
you.
you all.
God bless you all, but nobody sneezed.
Thank you to all the candidates on the stage tonight, and
Oh,
thank you to Milwaukee.
that's it.
Thank you, everybody. We will see you on the campaign trail from debates to primaries to the general election and the convention before that. Thanks for joining us. Sean Hannity from the Spin Room starts right now.
Take it away, Sean.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm only going to half listen to Sean.
Well, thank you both, by the way. Great job, Martha and
and go. Okay, wait, hold on, because I'll just and see. Oh, she talked. I mean, really, girl, really. I mean, really. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to watch the Hannity thing. I lied. By wearing the same thing, they just look like Nikki Haley's backup dancers. Oh my fucking God. Stop it. This is so fucking... Jay Rance, I love you. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. What was that? Nathan, Ron was one of the lawyers. Oh, yeah, he is a motherfucker. Oh, thank you. Jay Rance, thank you so much. Melissa, telling us what's what. I want you to know, yeah, what a pathetic joke for a party. Totally. Anyway, I mean, yay for stickers. I love stickers. No. You guys are very kind and you're very generous, and I really love you so much. Oh my God. Well, that was 2 hours of your life that you're never going to get back. Sorry. I hope it was somewhat entertaining. I'm going to tell you right now what made it was the chat. You guys are fucking on fire. I cannot believe you. It's amazing. I just can't fucking believe. I've licked plenty of bowls. Don't even get me started on the bowl licking. Anyway. Thank you all for coming. I am going to do a lounge on Friday. Yeah, can we play Donkey Kong now? No, but hey, wait. But it's funny that you say that. I love you too, Rip. And you are so welcome. Thank you. And I do want to actually do some gaming on my Twitch channel. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful. So I will see you later. I'll see you on all of the socials, and I'll definitely see you Friday night. I'm even thinking of going out. So anyway, I will take you with me. Okay, I love ya. Goodbye. Be cool.